So,
Fourth member.
yeah, we got a fourth member today. It's Hades. Here's a picture of him again.
I think they know what your dog looks like, Dan.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I think we got to put more pictures.
No,
He got bigger last time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
you're
got
right.
bigger?
So
Any excuse to include a picture of Hades.
Exactly.
Because he's so cute.
So, hello and welcome to the Showcast Pod Show. This is Dan. I'm here.
It's the randomly appropriated podcast. You know, just not to confuse our esteemed viewers.
Hi, Vinny.
All 11 of them.
Hey, we had like 50 something.
Only 11 subscribers though.
We're up to 11.
Yeah, because I convinced Sam and Davey.
There we go.
Well, there we go.
We're up to 11.
We're up to 11.
Hi and happy Mother's Day. By the way, this is Mother's Day. Hi.
Hi, hello.
What's a mother?
I don't know. I think it's that thing that you came out of.
My pod?
Show. Your pod show.
My pod show talkcast?
Yes. Pod show.
Actual
Talkcast.
podcast. Fun fact.
Pod show talkcast?
Yes.
Of course it is. I feel like people ran out of ideas.
Absolutely.
It's almost like we randomly appropriated an idea.
Yeah.
From one of our existing internet personalities.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow, it's crazy. It's almost like we should use that resource.
Almost.
Almost.
Not quite, though.
Hey, I said it. 1,000, and we're doing it.
No, absolutely. It's a good...
You know, it doesn't help that I don't post often enough to that to, yeah. It's alright. It's alright. Easier, alright.
Have we officially started yet?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey, by the way.
Yeah.
We started.
We have started.
We started like 10 minutes ago, man. What are you doing?
What are we doing here?
Well, since I have a puppy sitting in my lap, I'd like to start this off with, what is your opinion on pets in grocery stores?
It makes it really hard because every time I see a pet in a grocery store, I just want to pet it.
Yeah.
But I can't because they're working. But, you know, I say that like, I sound like an asshole, but...
Alright.
But, like, honestly, I just want to pet them. But I understand. I can't. But they look so cute.
Some of them do.
Some of them do. Others, like...
I saw a ratty-ass dog in there the other day.
You know, I've only ever seen dogs. I'm really curious. I want someone to just bring their cat.
I've seen one kitten in there.
Really?
One kitten.
One kitten.
Yeah.
I've seen someone bring a bird in.
I haven't seen that.
It was on a leash and everything.
Oh. I was going to say, what would they do if they just started flying?
It was flying. They had a leash attached to it. It's just like...
I don't know if you're joking or not.
I'm being dead serious.
I wish I saw that.
Did you get out?
I'm so fucking sorry.
This is going great. Can we just include all of this?
What's that?
Can we include all of this?
Some of it. I mean,
Hey,
the thing
I
is,
say...
there's no video with it
No, yeah.
to explain
That kind of
what's
makes it
going
funny,
on.
though.
Dan's misadventure with Hades.
Come on. Come on.
Dude, dogs are horse for those things.
I know.
Chunk also loves those. We had to stop buying them because she's like, more.
So finally getting back on track. My main question was, how do you feel about people, like, not service dogs, but just bringing their pets into a grocery store?
Sure, as long as you make sure they don't piss and shit on the floor.
Yeah, that's pretty much where
And they behave.
Yeah.
As
Don't
in not barking at children and shit like that.
Yeah.
There's this one man had a little chihuahua one time when I was rounding. It's just a carnival here, isn't it?
It really is. Sophie just jumped the barrier, so...
I was rounding the produce aisle and just like started barking at me. I was like, oh, I don't know how to deal this.
Yeah. Sophie, you can fit under there.
Hades says hi to all of our esteemed, beautiful listeners.
Told you.
The way Dan gets sassy.
I'm just gonna slowly feed him this, and
Hope for the best.
for the best.
The best to hope for.
Jesus Christ, this is
This is great.
This is a shit show and a half. Yeah, so basically I'm kind of as long as they're well behaved, I don't care. Like, you got your dog in there, whatever, who cares? But I know that some people are like vehemently against a pet being anywhere near, no matter what. It doesn't matter if they're a service animal. How dare you bring an animal into my store?
It's just not that serious.
It's
though.
really not.
It's just a doggy.
Yeah. But in the same vein, I feel like if you let like some people bring their well-behaved pets inside, then that's going to be like, oh, well, I'll just bring my dog inside and they're not well-behaved. And it's like, oh, I never thought that they were so bad or something like that. And it's just
You
like,
knew. You just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
exactly.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised it's not more of an issue. I think for as long as I've worked there, I think there's only been once where like a dog like pissed and the owner didn't clean up or anything.
Huh. Yeah.
But I mean, all the animals that I've seen, they're mostly well behaved and their owners are responsible enough to keep them in check.
Yeah.
So I'm for it.
Like, we've taken Hades into the store, and as long as we're holding him, he hasn't been that bad. The last time that we were there for a little bit longer than we should have been. Like, normally it's just us running in to grab something, like one or two things. But we were grabbing a couple of things, and everybody was like, oh, he's the most adorable thing that I've ever seen.
And then like
I mean, how can you not?
half the time whenever people bring their animals in, like they're small enough for them to carry them. So like obviously, of course, they're not going to be an issue to them.
Right.
Except for the people who bring like their full-grown Great Dane.
Yeah, but then you can just ride it around the store.
I mean, you get a nice saddle on that thing. It's just like,
Exactly.
you know, it's like Red Dead Redemption 2 up in that bitch.
You're set.
I mean, hey,
Name it, you know, get up to level 3 and you can do that little slide thing, you know. It does.
yeah.
that would just make my day if I just saw somebody riding their Great Dane around in the store.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
I'd be like, okay, life isn't so bad after all.
One time we had our niece over to the house and we were having dinner and she just points at Chunky and goes, "Can I ride him?" Like, no.
No.
I mean, can we?
I mean,
Honey?
don't tell her.
No, sweetie, we
No.
can't do that. Are we sure?
You sure? I think that would be great. Now, with all of the domesticating and breeding with dogs that we've done, I'm surprised. I'm pretty genuinely surprised that nobody's made a dog that you can just ride.
Oh, I'm sure there's someone out
yeah.
there. I mean, there's gotta be, right?
You would think. I would think, but
Princess Mononoke did it.
I mean, I'm sure that there are dogs that, like, smaller people can ride, but, like, I'm talking, why haven't we bred a dog the size of a horse that you can ride?
Do you want to clean up that shit?
I really
mean-
don't.
Therein lies the answer.
Also, imagine a dog the size of a horse that didn't get trained well and attacks people. That would be terrifying.
That would be terrifying.
That would be
also
absolutely
riding
terrifying.
into battle on a wolf type creature.
Yeah, exactly.
Like with a fucking shotgun in your one arm and, you know, a cigar hanging out, and it's just like, it's America.
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 You got very...
We do one well, I just drink beer, smoke cigarettes. Diane, where's my pick?
I would just like to point out here that Lucas is the one drinking beer.
Me and Dan are waters.
What are you waiting for?
Ha 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 ha. Funny.
Funny? You want to see funny?
Let me see funny.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm disappointed.
You know what's disappointing?
What's
Tears
that?
of the Kingdom. Hate the
Well,
game.
that's a fucking lie. Lucas, you got lost in the starting mission.
No. It's so funny. So that first shrine where you have to kind of like near the end of it, where you kind of have to build that thing where it's like a thing of wood, and you have to have the hook on it and like slide down.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I think I know what to do here, but I don't know how to do it. And then I look up and there's one just like, because like you're meant to see it,
Yeah.
like just like, oh, this is what you're supposed to make, and like I'm just sitting there for like 5 minutes, just like, I think I know what to do here, but I don't know exactly how to make it. And I just look up and I just see it like right in front of me. I'm just like, oh, I think I'm too stupid for these kinds of games sometimes.
So anyways, we're going to talk about Tears of the Kingdom now, the new Legend of Zelda game.
What a trash game. Like, seriously?
Shut your whore face.
No, it's currently sitting at a 96 on Metacritic. And you know what? It's garbage. It needs more than that.
I want
bump
my
those
money
number
back.
bump those number up. IGN gave it a 10, and personally, that's too low.
I don't know that I would say it in my personal opinion, I think that it is a solid 9.5. So it's good to know that like Metacritic has it at 9.6. Personal rating is at 9.5, and that's for reasons that we'll get to later. The game is awesome. The game is amazing.
So clearly that first bit was all a goof. But I don't know. I need more time with the game,
Yeah,
honestly. But like I have this feeling it was like, I don't know. It's almost like Breath of the Wild was better for me.
See, okay,
Really?
so that's what I was going to... Because I've only played it for like an hour, so I've like barely gone into anything. But I kind of have this feeling where it's like, this isn't going to be as good as Breath of the Wild. Like, I just know it. It's going to be a great game, obviously. But Breath of the Wild just hit different. And now this kind of just feels like, oh, it's just more of this.
So I can understand that.
Are you good?
Okay, we're gonna talk over Brandon dying real quick.
I like popped my neck, and when I did it, this fucking part just like cracked, and I was like, ow!
You like clenched your chest.
I
was
felt
like,
my
what
bone like snap.
Like, am I going
God.
to see somebody have a heart attack?
Apparently, yeah.
It's like this bone right here. I don't even know what that is.
See, I have a thing in like the middle of my chest that it just like it's in the middle.
Does
of
it
my
like jut
chest.
out a little bit?
No, it doesn't jut
Oh.
out. It pops every once in a while. Like my sternum pops every once in a while.
It still hurts.
It's so weird.
Because there's this that it kind of juts out a little bit, and like I didn't realize that was normal, but I felt it, and I was like,
Oh, that's weird.
oh my god, is that a fucking tumor? Am I dying? Like, what the fuck? But then I looked up, and I was like, oh, that's normal. She's like, oh, okay,
Oh, okay.
I'm not dying, not yet.
Not yet. Eventually.
We all die.
At some
That
point.
eternal slumber.
That I seek after so much.
So anyways,
So anyways,
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. So in my opinion, it took a lot of stuff. So as from just like a gameplay aspect, because I never finished Breath of the Wild, so I can't say.
loser.
Yeah, pretty much. I made it probably 30% through Breath of the Wild, and I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, look at me, Lucas. I don't care. So from like the gameplay perspective, they took a lot of the stuff that was good about Breath of the Wild, and a lot of it they kept the same, but some of it they changed it. Some things I don't think are as good. Some things are a lot better.
So honestly, for me, like right now, it's almost like it's two feelings at the same time, which they're vastly different. One is, wow, all these new mechanics, very overwhelming, hard to wrap my head around. And the other one is, wow, this is kind of underwhelming a little bit too in the wake of like Breath of the Wild.
So having been able to explore a little bit, one of the biggest pros to this game, and it's one of the reviews that I saw, is that exploration is way more like meaningful and genuinely feels like you're exploring something. So like it's basically the same map from what I understand, with an overlayer and an underlayer.
Yeah.
There's caverns, there's stuff like that. But just exploring it like in the wild you just happen upon things that you're like, oh wow, that's kind of cool. So that's and there's something that there's two things that I really want to talk about, but I'll wait until next time because you guys haven't made it that far.
I'm gonna go home and play it immediately.
I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, same. I kind of just also feel like they kind of just like threw you in, if that makes sense.
What?
It kind of just like
Throws
threw
you
in.
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
I mean, I don't hate that though.
like, okay, go to these shrines, learn these new mechanics. I'm not even saying it's a bad thing. It's just,
that's exactly what Breath of the Wild did, though.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's just like, hey, wake up.
Again, it's not even like a bad thing. Also, I heard this game is pretty, like, quite a bit harder than Breath of the Wild, so...
I think it's the new mechanics, to be honest. Because, like, I know during the tutorial for me, I was sitting there scratching my head.
Well, yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Like, trying to get up the ice wall. And not even before that, it was the broken rail. I struggled with that broken rail so fucking much.
Which broken rail?
The one, you know, when you, is it before or after this you get fused? I don't remember. I think it's after you get fused. And there's a part of the rail is broken off, and you're trying to go up on the minecart and you keep falling off. You have to do a certain...
Oh, you have to put a hook on it.
You put a hook on
I
it?
put a hook on it.
Oh, yeah, I made a
supposed to.
train.
Oh.
I took 5 minecarts and made a train.
So all that I did, all that I assume what you're supposed to do is you just stick a hook in the middle of the minecart and you put it on the rail, and then you put a fan on the back of it and you just blow across on the complete rail.
Yeah, no, I took the 2 minecarts from the one island and the 3 minecarts from the other, put 3 fans on it, did a train, and just like barreled across it.
In a way, though, I like that, though, because it's like, you don't have to just make this very specific thing. Like, whatever you make, if it works, just go with it.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I saw somewhere it's like, I forget who was talking about it. Someone was like, they have a very specific thing when they made this puzzle. Like, this is how we would wanted you to do it, but there's 75,000 million ways you can finish this puzzle, which I fucking love.
Yeah, I love that because I guarantee that there are going to be things where I come across it and I'm just going to be like, all right, this doesn't make sense. I'm just going to build this thing and,
And
this weird contraption, and yeah.
like, I think I was talking to you, Dan, about it, probably not on here, but I was kind of afraid whenever they first introduced the mechanics that, like, they'd be like, oh, you can make this thing, and, like, you can make whatever to, like, get you across this, but I was afraid that you would still have to make this very specific thing.
Yeah.
Like, they'd only give you, like, so limited resources that the only way you can do is just make this one thing. But, like, the fact that you can
really do whatever you want.
Tears
like,
of the Kingdom.
Attach 5 rail cars together.
Fuck yeah, dude, it'll work.
I mean, hey, if it works,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
actually awesome that it worked.
I was scrolling through TikTok today, and literally the whole feed is nothing but Zelda.
Yeah.
And people were the shit that I saw people make. Someone built a fucking tank.
Yeah, that's
like
awesome.
that's
sick as
crazy.
shit, yeah.
And it's
And
Zelda game.
I
Like, think
know.
about that.
It's so cool that it feels like once you actually get out into the world a little bit more, you really feel like you can build just about anything.
I tried to make a wagon last night, and I was like, "This is a fucked up wagon.
I tried to make the wagon too, and I
need more practice."
I fucked it up, and then I rebuilt it, and then I just made like a wooden thing with 4 wheels, and I rode it for a minute and was like, okay, well, this isn't very practical, but in the future, you'll see that there is something that makes it actually practical to have a wagon.
What, attaching it to your horse?
All right, yeah, so you figured it out.
What else would it be?
All right, well,
Trying not to spoil it. I
I
see.
am, because it's something that I want to say. You'll figure it out almost immediately once you visit somewhere. Do you want me to just... I really just want to do it.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'll just tell you the 2 things because it doesn't really spoil that much, but
Spoiler alert.
spoiler alert, not
End game
really.
spoilers.
Yes,
Endgame.
Yeah.
Captain America
Endgame
dies.
Came out how many years ago?
Yeah, Captain
Oh, I
America.
meant like end game, like end of
I
the...
know, Lucas. We both.
I
We
see
were on
that.
the page, and you were
You
on
were-
the next book.
Yeah. And I'm the one that brought it up. Hey, hi, how you doing? This is me.
So the most, like, one of the most exciting things that this is the dumbest thing ever, but so I got to the horse place, right?
The stable?
The stable. All right, look, it's got a giant horse, and that's where you take the horses out. It's the horse place, all right? So I get to the stable.
You cleaned up the horse place today, Billy?
So I get to the stable, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go.
I'm sorry. Go on.
So I gotta go get a horse, and I'm like, okay, I'll just go get a horse, and I'll get whatever horse, and I'll bring it back, and whatever. So I get back, and I'm like, I left my horse somewhere. I think it fell off a cliff or something, and I was like, I cannot get this back, so I'll just go to the stable, and I go like, okay, take out a horse, and the guy's like, oh, you've been here before. Which horse would you like to take out? I was like, wait, what do you mean? And you go in and you have your horses from Breath of the Wild.
Huh.
And I was like, holy shit, that's so cool. It's so cool.
It's the one carryover they did. It reads your save data from Breath of the Wild for that purpose.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's it.
That's it.
I'm perfectly
Just
okay
couldn't
with
throw
that.
me another heart or anything. Nope, just my horse.
Nope. I mean, they do start you off with, like, what, 20 hearts or something?
You lose them
Well,
immediately.
yeah, but you get corrupted with the darkness.
I mean, I will say that's cool. I believe that's a first for the Zelda franchise, where it's like they set you off like Link is at his full power state.
Yes.
Whenever I first started, I was just like, oh?
It was a little jarring because it's just like you're expecting a cutscene all the way through, and you're just like, oh, now I'm playing.
Oh, now I'm playing, and I have 20 hearts.
Yeah,
Wow.
that whole opening is cool as shit, by the way.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
I don't know. I
super
kept getting annoyed at Zelda.
I did too. Because it's
Faster!
yeah.
God, it's one of those.
It got to the
like,
point where I just started running like ahead of her. I was
Yeah.
like, I know where I'm supposed to go. Just
I made it to the first thing, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go a little bit faster. And then I made it to the second thing, and then I was like, all right, I'm just going.
well, yeah.
It was very much like, I'm going to try to stick with her, and then at the end, ow!
Did you just bite your toe?
He was licking it at first, and then he's like,
I'm very impressed with your like straight face with a dog licking your toe.
it's hard, let me tell you that. It's like, oh, it's so cute. There's a puppy looking at me.
Chomp.
Fucking the thing that to get so the thing that I feel like it's missing from me, like this is a personal problem on my part, is that I don't think it'll ever live up to what Breath of the Wild is, because Tears of the Kingdom came out on Friday. I was able to like literally drop what I was doing, go pick it up, go home, play it. Breath of the Wild came out in 2017. I didn't have a Switch at the time, so I was like, I want to play it. I didn't get a Switch for 2 years after that, and the whole time it's like, he's played it. I want to play it. It was that kind of that longingness, and then when I finally got it, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. There's a dog literally sniffing my balls right now.
Oh my god. Hayes, come on.
Hi, buddy.
He didn't like you before, now he really likes you.
Yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, I just got my Switch 2 weeks ago, and
After we recorded.
yeah, and I mean, I kind of got it to play Breath of the Wild, and I feel like
And
it's.
then you abandoned it.
I totally did.
30%.
Yeah, and that's
30%.
Well, hey, the new game came out, and what do you want out of me?
Shiny new. Fuck you.
Gross. I really hope that came through. But yeah, I mean, I got it and I played it, and I got a taste of what Breath of the Wild is and why it was so popular, and I get it.
A taste of it.
And then the new one came out, and it's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna buy the new one.
Because literally, everybody's talking about it.
Yeah.
Like,
And
Fucking-
see,
I heard two old guys talking about it today at work. I was like, wow, everybody's talking about it.
yeah, I feel like Breath of the Wild was kind of, oh wow, this is a Zelda game and it's open world and
It
holy
was
shit, this is amazing.
revolutionizing.
It really was.
And then they did they did a really good job of making a sequel out of it, but
It's because they had
kept a
too many
lot of-
DLC plans.
yeah, and they kept a lot of the stuff the same or similar that it's hard to be like, wow, this is like a whole new thing. But they made it a sequel, like, and they made it a proper sequel instead of just being like, oh, this is the new game kind of thing.
I mean, I think like there's enough there in the game where it's new and it's fresh and they change things up and it's like, sure, it's the same map, but it's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Someone was telling me that like the map in Breath of the Wild, take that and then times it by 2, and that's this map.
Yeah, that
like,
seems about it.
I don't even know what the land is underneath, like
I don't either. I haven't made it that far.
underground rule or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like
Under rule.
there you go. Sky rule, high rule, under rule.
Boom.
Under
done.
ruse? Dunkaroos. Drunkaroos. Yeah, see, Dan gets it. Oh, man, I love making us laugh.
Oh, man.
It's so dumb.
It is so easy and it's so dumb, but it's so great.
God, this one's going to be an episode.
Oh, it's
People
gonna
are going to
be
be
a
like,
trip,
you guys
man.
are all over the place.
Yeah, that's what it's like to have a puppy. All over the place, man.
I was letting him just bite my hand so he wouldn't bark for like 3 minutes, and then he just
freaked out.
Then he just went over there so he can bark.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna eat your shoes.
Don't
He's
eat
behind you.
Don't eat my Crocs, you crocodile.
I mean, hey, they're edible.
Fuck off. I think the thing about this thing that was kind of
Jeez.
fascinating as fuck was the fact that it brought fucking midnight releases back with it, like with a vengeance. Like I saw everyone on Thursday night, like just like Zelda Breath of the not Breath of the Wild, what is it fucking called? Tears of the Kingdom. Release party at GameStop over here. We're doing here. Nintendo eShop over here. It's like the Nintendo store in New York like had one. It's just fucking, it's crazy. And like, I don't know, man. I just thought it was nuts.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's kind of crazy that a game can really do that. Like a singular game can really do that.
It's definitely the most hyped Nintendo game probably since Breath of the Wild, and that was 6 years ago at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to say so.
I think it's the most hyped game now in the world, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, I think Smash Brothers Ultimate might have had probably not the same amount of hype, but probably they're close.
Because, like, if you go back to last year, and everyone in our circles, they were talking about Elden Ring, but Tears of the Kingdom is going outside of our circles, and, like, everybody's talking about it.
So the beta for Diablo 4 is happening right now, I think.
And everybody's playing Zelda.
Playing Zelda. I haven't heard anybody say anything about... I only had one person talk to me about Diablo 4 today, which is kind of insane, because this is a game that people have been waiting for
years.
A decade.
Longer than Zelda, that's for sure.
And Tears of the Kingdom has... I mean, I've only been hyped for it for like 2 weeks since Brandon started talking about it, but now it's like, wow, this is dope.
It's crazy. It's the thing that's sweeping the world, the globe, the
universe.
The universe.
The multiverse.
The multiverse.
Dude, even Ashley right now she's not playing Tears of the Kingdom, but she's very much riding the Zelda train. I dug out my DS for her today, and she's playing Ocarina of Time on it. Like,
very good. Probably my favorite Zelda.
It's no Twilight Princess, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, see, that might be. It's definitely Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, and Twilight Princess are my top 3. You tell me which one's my favorite. I'm gonna probably say a different one of those 3 every day.
Breath of the Wild is such a great game. I mean, GQ just put out their 100th greatest video games of all time list, and it's number 1.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like, that's crazy. And it's probably going to be replaced now with Tears of the Kingdom. We'll see. But if anything, Tears might be right under it.
Yeah. See, I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself. I'm gonna stop right there. Because I'm gonna say, from a gameplay aspect, it's. But yeah, no,
It's
I already
more the
said
same.
that. So
I don't know, because like it is more the same, but with the new mechanics with the fuse and the Ultra Hand, it's like it's game changing.
Yeah. You guys keep trying not to make noise and make more noise.
Did you notice me trying to open this Coke bottle?
Yeah, I did.
For 20 seconds.
No, that was like 3 minutes.
I was just like,
because you started it, and then I started messing with Hades, and I was like, what is that hissing sound?
Yeah.
Is that somebody's ass?
If it helps, I didn't fucking notice a thing. I was just like focused.
I held out at the table, just like, I hope this doesn't pick up.
I want to get close to this point.
I was about to say, Lucas, just do it.
Just fucking.
What? No.
I was so pissed poor.
Well, yeah. But it was just like the Solomon, just like.
Oh, dude, it was like 3 minutes of just.
That's great. I'm just gonna leave it open.
I don't know why you haven't.
Well, now I am.
Mix it with the beer.
No, this is already gone.
Man, Brett's gonna listen to this like, man, you guys were all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what we do here.
Welcome to Randomly Appropriated Podcast.
I mean, it's kind of in the name.
What were we even...
We went off on a long tangent about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah. It's good, and a lot of people were saying... Now, my biggest gripe with the game, I have 2, but my biggest one is the fuse. Yeah, the fuse. Where you attach random shit to your weapons. God, that shit looks dumb.
Some of it looks cool.
Some of it looks dope. But the dumbest thing is the first thing that they have you make is a stick with a rock on the end of it. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? Like, the first thing that they have you make, and it clips through the ground. Mm-hmm. And it's like...
Some of them, like, just the parts, the bokoblin horns or whatever, or the random parts you find scattered around and you confuse other things, those look really cool. For the most part, I've noticed, but... Like last night, I was dicking around and I took a Traveler's Sword and fused it with a Traveler's Claymore. So I'm just walking around with this 8-foot-long sword, just like
on a sword,
just like just clipped through you can't even see the Claymore. It's like all you see is the handle on the tip of the regular sword. And I'm like, Jesus! And Link holds the two-handed swords with both hands, and he swings long ways. Not this one, not the sword that's the biggest thing that I've made in the game so far. It's just like
one hands it
the whole fucking time.
See, that's one of the things is like it's a cool idea. I like being able to like.
It's a great idea, and I love how shittily it's delivered. Do you agree too, huh, bud?
He does. It's just some of those things that like. Maybe they shouldn't have done everything. Maybe not. It seems like just about anything that you can.
That echoed.
It did, yeah.
I saw someone make a skateboard out of a shield and a minecart.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you put it up on the TV? No.
I play it handheld.
I do both.
Same.
The TV upstairs isn't good enough to warrant it.
Wow. What do you deem good enough, Dan?
More than, 720p?
Wow.
I know. What an elitist.
What the Switch is, though.
Yeah, the
I
Switch
have an
is.
OLED.
Well, so do I, but it doesn't, like we talked about, it doesn't
Hey,
improve
Listen,
the graphics.
just because I have a fucking base Switch, and I have the Switch the original Switch, the one that was originally out before they released the revamped model, which had more power and more hardware space.
Except it didn't have any more power.
No, it was battery power.
Oh,
yeah, I was gonna say your
power.
battery must
Okay.
be dog shit.
Honestly, it's not that bad.
Well, his is a new, what, 4 years old?
It's old. It was 2 years after the initial release. It was 2019, so it was
Yeah,
like,
so
4
4.
years. But it was before they came out with, it was like, you know what I'm talking about, when they tweaked.
No, yeah.
It came out with a bigger hard drive, more storage, and then
I mean, I think the biggest thing was
a longer battery life. It went from, they boosted the battery, I think it was, the initial battery was like 4 to 6,
think it
maybe
was-
6 to 8, and they boosted it from 6 to 8 to like 6 to 10 or 8 to 10
No,
or
I think
something
the
like
original
that.
was 4 to 6.
4 to 6, yeah. Honestly, like, I don't have that big of a problem with my battery life.
I know, even with the OLED, like, I probably get like 6 hours.
Yeah, that was gonna be one of my main complaints of the Switch is I get it, it's a handheld thing that you can play pretty much main titles on, but the battery life is not that good.
Yeah.
I feel like after playing it for 20 minutes, I'm down 10%. It's like, wow, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I can get a solid 4 hours of play.
Yeah,
But, like,
which
it
is,
should be more than that, though.
yeah, I kind
Especially
of feel like it, but
for a game like Tears of the Kingdom where you can get so lost in it. Like,
and then all of a sudden your battery's dying, and it's like, man, now I gotta go plug this in. Well, I might as well go do something else.
and like the 4 to 6, that's probably, that's not taking considering like running a game like Tears of the Kingdom. If you're playing that, it's probably less than that.
Probably, I don't know.
Like, you're probably talking like 3 hours.
Yeah. So that also brings up my other gripe with Tears of the Kingdom, and that's the performance hits that it takes from time to time. And
I haven't noticed any yet.
so it's gotten better for the most part sometimes. Whenever I'm using is it the Ultra Hand or something?
Yes.
It is?
Which one?
At least
The one where you can move stuff and attach it?
Ultra Hand,
That's the Ultra Hand? Wow, that's okay.
It's Nintendo. They
I
don't
know.
think about things so well.
It's fair. But whenever I was using that the first couple of times, my performance
I noticed the same thing.
crashed. It went from pretty good, probably. I mean, I don't know. It looked good, down to, oh man, I can notice the stuttering. I can notice the graphics got all fuzzy, and it was not happy doing it.
Also, whenever you're first jumping from Sky Roll to High Roll, I noticed my frames went down, and it was just
See, I didn't notice that, but
and then I'm just afraid of how it's going to be. I'm sure they'll release patches and stuff.
Yeah.
But whenever you're facing multiple enemies at once, because again, I've played for maybe an hour, so whenever I have 5 enemies, it's just one at a time. But that's the thing about the Switch.
Yeah.
It's just I wish it was better.
I do too.
Well, rumor has it, this is the last major Switch title we're getting, and they don't plan on releasing any new software this year, but they said to stay tuned for 2024.
See, and then they're going to release a new console, and then you're not going to be able to buy it for 3 years.
I'd like to think we're not going to face that again.
You would like to think, but
Honestly, I feel like the Switch at launch was easy to get. I know they had the Switch shortage. Say that 3 times fast.
Switch shortage.
During COVID, because everyone was like, we're at home, we're playing video games more, and everyone wanted that fucking Animal Crossing. Switches were impossible to find. I remember I went in a GameStop and was like, you guys got any Switches? He laughed in my face.
That sounds about right.
I was like, I mean, I don't want one. I just wanted to know if it was true.
Good, I'll laugh with you.
But yeah, I'd like to think we're done with that. I'd really hope so. Because, like, now you see, like, PS5s on the shelves, like, every day. Like,
see, but how long has the PS5 been out?
2.5 years?
Fucking 2.5 years.
Yeah.
2.5 years? That's a
3
long
November.
time. And I get it, it released basically during COVID, but it's also like a wow. They had problems before COVID, and then during COVID, you could not get a PS5.
And that problem was just solved, like, back in November with God of War, the big PlayStation release. They're like, oh, we have PlayStation 5s relatively available now.
Yeah, like this Christmas, there were tons of PS5s.
I got the touch one.
You didn't get a PS5.
No, but when we were doing that Black Friday sales event, I touched a lot.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's like, okay, we finally have PS5s almost 3 years later. Like,
The Xbox went through the same thing, except they managed to get the Series X on shelves a little faster.
yeah, I feel like people also definitely weren't as excited for the Series X as they were for the PS5.
Well, Xbox is a whole nother can of worms right now.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You were mentioning an interview.
The Phil Spencer, so the big boss Phil Spencer of Xbox was on the Kind of Funny podcast, and like, they're my favorite podcasters. You know, I watch them religiously, but this podcast fucking made national headlines. Like, it was everywhere. He came out and he was just like, they had a very, I've been meaning to send it to you guys, and I want you guys to watch it, but they had a very serious conversation. It was very professional, but one of the comments Phil made was like, he said that they lost the worst generation to lose, which was the Xbox One generation, because in that generation, everyone was building their digital libraries, and they just goofed it, and now they're so far behind that, like, people aren't... Starfield's going to come out, and people aren't just going to stop buying PS5 or sell their PS5 for an Xbox, because, like, it's just not there. And, like, last year they came out and said that they had a 12-year plan for each quarter they were going to release a game, and that didn't happen. We haven't gotten a full AAA title from Xbox until last week for, like, ever. I think it was Forza 5 was the last one, and that was like last year at some point.
Yeah, that was like November 2021, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And like, and then we just got Redfall, and I don't know if you guys followed, but that fucking stunk.
Yeah.
Like, it came and went. No one's even talking about it anymore.
Other than how bad it is.
It's terrible. And like, I feel for Xbox, but also
they really screwed that one.
And like, in the interview, Phil was pissed off, and you could see it. Like, I just want you guys to watch it. Let's fucking watch it right now. Put
it up. Jamie, put it up.
Who's Jamie?
Don't worry about it. Jamie will get it.
Oh, you mean that Jamie? Oh, hi, Jamie.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Not even that.
I'm so lost. Tell me after. Oh, I don't watch that.
Lucas got it.
See?
Oh, man.
I would know that reference if you said, throw it up, Kevin.
Who's Kevin?
Exactly.
I hope that picked up me, like, whispering.
I hope so, too.
It's from
Nobody listens to that. It's bullshit. So,
it is bullshit.
I mean, it got... Now that we're talking about it, it was good for a little while when he was just, I don't know, interviewing people and letting them talk. Like, he would interview some really interesting people. Like, he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on there. The Elon Musk one was pretty famous for being slightly infamous. But yeah, exactly. We'll put that picture back up because I already have it downloaded.
My buddy's got that on a hoodie.
But it was one of those podcasts. All right, we're gonna take a pause. Hades, do you gotta go out?
You're saying Kind of Funny is your favorite podcast, right?
Yeah.
You know what's my favorite podcast?
This one?
This one.
Trying to record a podcast. We're trying to record a podcast. Hey, I'm recording. Hey, yo, we're recording a podcast.
Do you want to get up in Uncle Brando's lap? Come here. Come here. No, you don't like that, huh?
We got him one of those bully sticks, and he loves that. And those are perfect.
See, I don't know if it's true, but someone told me that those are shriveled up bullcocks.
That's what Brittany said. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, hey, he loves it. So I tell him...
They're a little expensive.
Oh, really? Up at PetSmart, they're like $3 each.
Really?
And that lasted a solid week. With him, at least. Because I was looking at getting antlers, and antlers are fucking ridiculous. It's
Dude,
like,
take a walk.
I know, but it's like...
It's shedding season, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that was recently, but...
So I'm sure you'll find them.
They should be out there. But it was like a little tiny antler, like that big, for like $15.
Yeah.
It's like, why? I mean, I get it, because it's like... They pretty much last forever, but...
We get Chunky. It's like this... Actually super anal about safety and stuff.
Yeah.
So, she found this company that makes these... They're like... It's made with real wood, but it's safe. It's pressed or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like this stick, and Chunk just fucking goes to town on it. We need to get him another one, actually.
I might have to... So I think I've seen that somewhere.
I'll send you the exact brand that we use.
Because I think I've seen it somewhere, but...
Unpaused?
Unpaused. Yeah, so the Joe Rogan podcast is one that, like...
Oh, yeah, I forgot we were talking about that.
Yeah, sorry about the break. It used to be, like, really interesting and really good, but then it got... I don't know, he got weird or something.
I mean, he's always been weird.
Yeah, but he was more of, like, a cool weird guy, and then he turned into, like, a really weird guy.
I think it just got big, and then I know, like, he loves the trip on DMT, so...
Yeah. I don't know.
It's not my thing.
I'm sure if I go... I've watched...
listened to some episodes.
I'm sure that if I go back and watch some, they'd be... You know, some of them, I'm sure that they would be great. But, I don't know. I'm just hesitant.
I go through moods with just podcasts in general. Like, I used to, like, with his specifically, like, yeah, it's like, oh, if I have interest with this person that he has on, then, yeah, I'll listen to it.
That's pretty much what I did.
I mean, yeah, and, like, more or less, it's the same with him. Also, his shows are, like, longer, aren't they?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, some of them are like, really long.
Isn't the one with Elon Musk, I think, like 3.5 hours longer, something like that?
I think so,
Jesus.
Yeah, it's like, that's too long. Like, I think an hour is, like, the good spot.
I mean, it
Hour
depends on
and a
the
half.
guest, because sometimes I'll get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. But sometimes, like, with the Elon Musk one, I watched the entire thing, and I was, like, actively watching it. Some of them I've been, like, really actively watching them. Sometimes it's just nice to have some background noise while you're doing something.
Hi. Didn't know you were between my legs. Bye.
Hi. Didn't know you were smelling my dick. Hi.
That's what I say to my dick when I see it over my gut sometimes. Hi, I didn't know you were down there.
Wait, you can see it?
Sometimes.
I just think...
Oh, fat jokes.
They hurt. Only on the inside.
See, your thing is fat jokes. My thing is just... unlovable jokes, I guess.
My thing is fucking everything else.
Oh, I mean, mine's everything too, but also...
Mine's mostly me talking and me trying to fucking talk and failing.
That's me.
No, it's not, Lucas.
That's me.
Piss off. How many times have you fucked up speaking words?
So many times.
Like once. I just stuttered.
Okay.
He does that a lot.
I do it a lot.
I went to speech class for most of my elementary and middle school.
I'm dyslexic.
Guys, it's not a competition of who is the fucking stupidest, okay?
Because
Clearly it's me.
Because the answer is me. Yep, there you go.
All right,
The
well,
answer
I
is
went
everyone.
I went real broad with
Have
that.
have you talked to a person that lives in our town? Anyone?
All right, so I guess we're doing pretty good, aren't we?
There you go.
I could always be worse.
Exactly.
I mean...
I'm gonna cut that one out.
Yeah.
No.
I was very vague on purpose.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I basically just ducked.
Yeah, oh, you really did.
Yeah.
No, what do? Just bleep whenever I see me.
Beep.
Yeah, just bleep.
People are gonna be like, "What did he say?"
What did he say?
But they're okay with.
Did he say blue balls?
Yeah, we live in Blue Balls, Pennsylvania. I mean, basically.
There's
I mean-
another bleep.
Now, would you rather go to live in blue balls or intercourse?
I mean,
Scran.
Scrotum.
what the fuck is it?
You have to get through
What is this episode?
don't know.
It's great, but also...
What's hilarious is you have to get through blue balls to get to intercourse to get to paradise.
A
Those are 3 towns in this state.
yeah.
It is, yeah.
And
I think we
it was
also have a no. I think it's Paris, New York.
what? Paris?
Like
I
yeah,
know there's Paris, Texas.
yeah.
We have York, Old York.
Old York. We have the OG.
Lucas, you got a topic?
See,
Pull out.
I kind of want to bring back the Switch again, and like...
Bringing it right back around again.
I mean, yeah. Well,
This is the Nintendo cast.
the Nintendo and Hades cast.
I love it.
Or just like... I've been having a lot of problems finishing games lately. And like,
My whole life.
yeah.
Yep, me too.
Hey,
His too.
specifically this year has been so bad. Like right now, I went from the Resident Evil 4 remake, which I played for 2 hours, and then I was like, oh, Dead Island 2 is coming out. This looks really fun. Bought it. $70.
Oof.
Played that for 2 hours, and now I bought Tears of the Kingdom. Another $70.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure that's a problem that like all 3 of us have, just like finishing like media.
I haven't finished Red Dead Redemption 2 yet.
And like, yeah, and you're just saying that you only got like 30% into Breath of the Wild.
Well, and that's I was honestly planning on finishing it, but then I got Tears of the Kingdom and I was like, well, might as well play the new one. I'm
Shame.
gonna do my best to finish Tears of the
well,
Kingdom.
no, like this is the one where it's like I'm stopping that trend of mine. But it's a very dangerous game. Like that's why it's like I kind of go through phases where I'm not into video games because
Yeah.
just like that streak alone, and specifically with how video games are $70 now. I don't know if this is the first Switch game that's $70.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's the first price hike from Nintendo.
Yeah, which
I call bullshit because like the other 2 companies can justify it because like it's the next console generation
Oh,
going
yeah,
and
that's
they
fine.
announced that like games are going to be $7 on this console. This is still Nintendo's same console generation from when it launched back in like what 2017.
yeah.
So them just going, oh yeah, this game, the one that like runs the same as the last one, yeah, it's $10.
And I was gonna bring that up eventually, but like $70 for a game that's like at this point, like not even having a game that doesn't run 60 FPS.
Hey, there it is.
Or see, I am stupid.
Half
and
the
I
games
can't-
out there
and I
don't
can't
even
spell.
launch with 60 frames per second
Half the
anymore.
games don't even launch finished.
I mean, at this point, yeah, but like,
Redfall.
yeah, and like
Redfall wasn't finished.
Yeah, no.
I mean, like, it looked kind of finished. It looked like shit. It looked like the real game was shit.
Jedi Survivor had a bunch of problems
Yeah,
too.
Jedi Survivor had a ton of problems. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077.
Didn't that eventually get fixed though? Like,
I don't even know if it's fixed yet.
No Man's Sky, bro.
No Man's
that's
Sky
a good example.
really turned it around, though.
Yeah, that's a good
I heard,
example.
but like at launch, I was so excited about that game.
Yeah.
I bought it $60. Haven't touched it since.
No.
Everyone's like, "Oh, it's better now." I don't care. Bad taste.
I picked it up pretty cheap, and it's not terrible, but it's not...
You
I
can
mean,
get it. It's on Game Pass, I think.
Probably. I think I played it on Game Pass, but it's okay. It's... I don't know that I would...
But they can't expect people to go back to a game years after the release just because they decided to release it unfinished.
Exactly.
They put out an apology like, oh, we're sorry, we're going to fix everything.
And then 3 years later,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fixed, but you've completely moved on to a new game.
Yeah, like at that point, people have already forgotten about your game.
Yeah.
Like, even with a game like Cyberpunk that had years of hype. Like,
Cyberpunk was one of those games that people thought it was safe to pre-order.
Cyberpunk. I thought it was never going to come out,
I
and
thought
then when
so.
it did, it was trash.
Yeah. And it was, like I said, it was one of those games that people thought it was safe to pre-order, and it wasn't. And it's just like, wow,
yeah.
man, gaming industry is
It's
kind of shit right now
it's depressing.
for new games. Now,
I don't know
say,
because PlayStation's knocking it out of the park.
And
They're
all
big
right,
triple.
Look, Brandon,
What?
not everybody has a PlayStation.
I don't have a 5. I have a 4. But
Well, where's
also,
your new
Dan,
5?
right over fucking there. Anyways.
Hey, look, I have a PC. Wow.
Wow, a PC that can't even run The Last of Us. Wow.
Hey, it's out on PC now.
Yeah,
It might
and
be
guess what?
garbage.
It fucking trash,
Yeah.
bro.
Hey, well, they're gonna fix it in 2 years. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, don't worry. In 2 years, when you could have played it fucking 10 years ago on the PS3.
At the
Yeah.
very least, like, obviously we know The Last of Us is a great game, though, so whenever they do decide to fix it,
Yeah, pretty much.
there you go.
And it's a great game that is fucking how old now?
10.
2013.
God damn.
That-
I'm not gonna bother with that.
Fucking shit.
Yeah.
The Last
You
of Us is
should.
10
It's
years old.
fucking good. It made me cry.
So one of my biggest disappointments this year is Kerbal Space Program 2. God, that game, man, that's a disappointment. I have no idea if either of you even know what that
I've heard
is.
of it. I've
Okay,
heard of it.
You
Yeah.
told me about it once, but
I was really excited for it, and I got it, and I still have it, and I regret it, but it is not good. It's not good. They basically re-released the game, like Kerbal Space Program,
Any extras?
and it's even worse.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just disappointing. That was one of the games that I was like super excited for, and then it's like, nope, it sucks. It's like, wow, do new games like are new games even worth buying?
I try to wait.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the first new game I've bought at launch in a long time.
this is the first new game that I've bought at launch since Cyberpunk,
Mm.
and this is
I
finally
can't
I
remember the
don't
last
feel
one.
burned.
It's probably the first game that I've bought at launch that I'm like confident that I'm not going to regret.
Yeah, and that's because I
Sam,
looked at a lot of the reviews where it's like, oh yeah, performance is meh, but it's a really good game. So it's like, well, I'm gonna get it.
I think my last one was Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm.
The what was it? What?
Ghost of Tsushima? Ghost of Tsushima?
Tsushima, yeah.
Tsushima?
Tushi.
It's a samurai
It's
game.
a samurai game.
It's for PS4.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. I think you would dig it.
Well, that's why, because I don't have a PS4.
Oh, it's fucking... Again, right over there. I know it's your brother's, but it's in your house.
Yeah, but it's not mine. So
Hey, Doug, can Dan play your
you
PS4?
think he's gonna listen to this?
No, he won't, but
He probably would if I sent it to him. But
Are you embarrassed about our podcast, too?
yeah, but I told my friends.
Oh my god! I'm just a piece of shit, aren't I?
Shut the fuck up.
I think I told Sam about it.
I told Sam about it
You
today.
told Sam about it today. Hi,
Well,
Sam.
She seemed like she didn't know what the fuck I was talking about when I told her about it.
Like, I don't think I mentioned it, but, like, I didn't mean anything by it.
Just didn't even mention it to one of your best friends. Come on now.
Sav knew about the shit immediately. So did Ashley.
I mean, Sav was there when we were talking about it, so
That's fair.
when we came up with the name,
yeah, when we're all three fucking...
Talking over drunk people.
Yeah.
yeah. And then Peyton fell
Maybe.
over.
I showed that foot picture off today. She's like, stop showing it. I was like, it's funny.
It's
No,
hilarious.
because that reminded me whenever she fell, she just, like, stood up, just stared at me for 10 seconds, and just... I could just see her slowly fall back. I was like, oh no. And you just hear this, like, the thud, and I just lost it.
That is hilarious.
We love you, Peyton.
We love you, Peyton.
She won't listen this far.
No,
I mean,
she won't.
no, but
No.
if by some chance...
Just tell her that she's in it. Oh, hey, by the way, you're in it. Like,
Can we just timestamp it for her?
nah.
Oh,
She's got to find it herself.
that's fair. What were we even talking about?
I don't know.
I
know.
think me being a little irked by the fact that they charge $70 for Tears of the
yeah.
Kingdom and then we're basically at this point a last console
I mean,
game.
I kind of get it in general. Like, video games have stayed mostly the same price for a very long time. So,
Because if this is like a normal for Nintendo and if they don't release like a second iteration of the Switch for a while, then like, nah.
yeah.
Like, I'm not.
I mean,
We're getting a new Switch, new Nintendo something soon, I would imagine.
I would really hope so because, yeah, at this point, it's like 6 years old.
yeah.
The bigger games are struggling to run.
Well, did you see Pokemon at launch? Fuck.
I heard Pokemon was bad.
Yep.
But, I mean, like I said, I understand it because for the longest time, video games have been $60. And
It's just like the early 2000s, I think,
yeah,
right?
pretty much. I know for a while they were 50. I know at some point previously they were at 70. So it's kind of like I mean, I get it. I get why. Especially with inflation and all that stuff. Like, video games are insanely cheap entertainment for like dollar per how much time you spend in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's entirely understandable that they're going to raise the
And
price.
I guess with a game like Tears of the Kingdom where I think they said the story was like 80 hours.
Yeah. I
guess.
Yeah.
But I just wish it performed better.
Yeah. And
Especially now that the current gen is like Series X, PS5. Games just look so much better. And like...
Do they though?
They do.
No,
And like
you're
this
right.
is the first game that I've bought on the Switch in months. It's just like, why... If it's not an exclusive, why would you choose a Switch over... Like, I
Yeah.
get the portability is convenient for other people, for like a small amount of people, but why would
So-
you prefer on a Switch over...
so personally, my biggest issue with raising the price to $70 is that the games that they're making right now are not worth $70 when they release half finished.
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like you're gonna Tears of the Kingdom, I would say, is pretty well finished. Like, it could use some updates on some of the stuff,
Oh,
but
yeah.
well, it's been in development for 6 years. It
Yeah.
better be finished.
so, well,
With a map that was already...
Cyberpunk was in development for like I think 7 years
Yeah.
before it released,
That
and it
was-
released as
Wasn't it
trash.
announced in like 2014 at E3 or something like that?
I don't know. It was in development for
I
a
thought it was, like,
very long
2012.
time.
I thought it was before 2014.
It could have been, yeah. Like,
And then just to have that kind of a release is wow, that's kind of pitiful.
I mean, literally for Redfall, the only reason why there's not more outcry is because it was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Like, it launched on it. Could you imagine if they charged $70 for that?
And that's the only way that you can get it.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Not to mention, Redfall is Bethesda, right?
It's what?
Bethesda?
Probably.
It's
I don't know.
it's a sub studio of Bethesda. What is it? It's Arcane Austin,
Okay, yeah, but like,
and they're the guys who did like fucking Deathloop, that just
Yeah,
came, like launched with the new generation.
yeah,
They did Dishonored 1 and 2, and like those three games that I've heard are
Yeah, they're-
astounding.
yeah,
Like,
they're great.
Dishonored 1 I've played is fantastic.
Yeah.
So like,
You would have high hopes for that, but then for it to come out and it's
I mean,
hot garbage.
I will say in the kind of funny interview that we've talked about earlier, Phil Spencer did mention it's like he's not about to sit here and like stifle creativity. He wants his studios to like, we have this weird vampire multiplayer thing that we're working on, and like he doesn't want to be like, no, you're not doing that. He wants to fuel the creative process, but like, I don't know, at some point maybe you just like step in there and be like, instead of doing multiplayer, why don't you do single player?
because like they're
Make it
obviously
good.
yeah, like they're obviously not doing this on purpose. I'd like to think that like they're not doing this on purpose. Like they don't want to make customers angry. They don't want to lose money.
No, but they also want to publish games, you know?
Yeah,
Like, that's how you make money, is by having a game out. And I think early access is I like that early access is a thing where you can, like, play games before they're entirely ready
yeah,
to see to see if you're gonna like it or not. But I don't like that it's become this, like, oh, it's perfectly fine to release a game completely chock full of bugs that make it basically unplayable. Like, that's insane
No,
that you
yeah.
fully release a game like that.
like the fact that there's some games out there that have been out there for years, but they're still marked under like beta.
Yeah.
Like it's
Trying to think of one. I feel like there's one really prominent one. I don't know. Doesn't come to mind.
I mean, games like Ark Survival Evolved, they lived in beta, in early access even, for years and years and years.
PUBG and
I think that was the one I was thinking about.
And Ark even released DLC before they fully published the game as like 1.0, which is, that's insane. And that kind of shifts the perspective of like what releasing an okay game is. But when your game is just unplayable, it's insane.
I think there's a game out right now called Baldur's Gate 3 that's in early access. And I mean, I haven't heard much on it, so I just wanted to bring it up for that.
Yeah,
It's in early access.
Yeah, that's all I know.
So I have a couple of games that spent a long time in early access and only fairly recently like fully released, like Project Zomboid, Kenshi, some really good games. But yeah, they spent a ton of time in early access while devs are adding things. But the thing is, they release it in early access as still playable games. Like, there's usually bugs. It's to be expected.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're getting into when you're playing early access. But for the most part, even some of those games are pretty good. Like, not terrible game-breaking bugs for the most part. But it's just insane to me that they release stuff like that now.
What is it, GoldenEye?
No, but I have GoldenEye on the Switch.
It's a good place to have it.
007.
Have you gotten any other Switch games besides?
I bought Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and Mario 3D World plus Bowser or something.
Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, that one. Which is fun, but it's kind of a slow.
But yeah, I feel like they only have like one game a year that like again, like I'm struggling to find reasons to use my Switch.
Yeah.
Like
One of the biggest reasons that I originally wanted a Switch was Smash Bros. Because I like it.
Right,
That
is the one game that I can still like.
I still haven't got it.
Oh,
I don't have it either.
That was gonna be my next purchase after Breath of the Wild, and then I just never got it.
Yeah.
Same with Mario Party.
It's just one of those things that is like, I want it because I know what it is, but I just, it's hard to justify it when it's a game that you've already played how many times?
Yeah, and like, whenever that's like one of the few games that like I will so consistently go back to, it's just like,
Yeah. It's fun to play with friends, but
I mean, that's
sometimes
exactly
it's-
why I would get it. Just have you guys come over and beat the shit out of each other.
that sounds like we should get it then.
I mean, that and Mario Kart, like,
Yeah.
Mario Kart, Mario Party, all those.
Davey. Shout out to Davey.
like
He had a great idea of us playing drunk Mario Kart, where you lose a race,
we
like,
have to,
however bad you drink.
take a shot every time.
It's
you
gonna
lose.
be a great
Well,
time.
there's a Mario Kart drinking game that like takes it further, where you have 2 beers and you drink. You have to have the 2 beers gone by the time you finish your final lap. But the kicker is you can't drink and drive.
What the
Oh,
hell?
You have
God,
to-
that's
Oh,
amazing.
dude.
You have to
that sounds
pull
fun,
over
though.
and drink your drink, and then like
And then drive.
and
Yeah.
drive. It's,
That's
That's
actually
great.
awesome.
That's great.
I think Joy sent it. Shout out to Joy, who's never gonna listen to this. Joy sent it. Either showed me or sent it to me, and I've heard it previously in the past. Like I need to figure out who sent that to me. And so, as you probably don't know, the Jonas Brothers announced that they were going back on tour.
Hell yeah.
And this was then they recently, I think it was the other day, dropped a new album. So our good friend Serenity was like, I want the Jonas Brothers tickets, and then even my Ashley was like, I want Jonas Brothers tickets. And me and her were driving home from work one day. She had picked me up, and we were on our way to the house. And we were talking about something, and I was like, we were talking about saving money. And I was like, honey, the one thing that you can't do is have Jonas Brothers tickets. And then we were listening to the radio, and the radio show host is like, we're going to play Battle of the Sexes, and we need a man and a woman to call in to fight for Jonas Brothers tickets. And she was like, oh my God. I was like, oh fuck. So she calls the radio station, and the lady's like, who do I have on the line? And she's like, hi, I'm Ashley. Sorry, Ashley, I already have Nicole on the other line. I still need a man, though. And she hangs up, and she's just like, damn, wait a minute, I have a man. Calls back, and she made me play for her. And she was like, so it's a trivia game, and it's like, oh, what was one of the questions? I don't even fucking remember. But she's feeding me the answers the whole time, and then it's like, if we get down to the last bit, and for some fucking reason that still escapes me, I won. And now we're going to see the Jonas Brothers in September, and that's not great for me. But I kind of used this to my advantage, because then that following Saturday was free comic book day. And there was this comic book coming out that I really wanted. It was a prelude to the Spider-Man 2 game that's coming up. So I was like, honey, I did this for you.
Yeah.
You need to do this for me. So her and Sav were already in area. So she ran over to the comic book shop, grabbed the book, texted me, and was like, hey, they don't have it. I was like, damn, okay. And she was fucking with me. I didn't know. And so I walked into the apartment, and she was doing something, and she was just like, did you see the comic on the coffee table? I was like, so they didn't really have it, huh? It's like, what do you mean? I got it. And it was like, yeah, you got the wrong one then. She's like, I got the wrong one? Honey, I'm so sorry. I'm like, she's like, but you wanted Spider-Man and Venom. No, I wanted Spider-Man 2. It's like, but it had Spider-Man and Venom on the cover. No, that was Spider-Man and Miles. I understand the confusion, and I really appreciate that you went through these lengths to get it for me. I'm not mad, so thank you, but like, this is funny, and it's going on the podcast.
So she got you the wrong one?
She got me the wrong book,
Okay.
but
I mean, hey, she
It
got you a book.
Yeah.
yeah, it happens. just was fucking hilarious. I
Yeah.
couldn't stop laughing.
See,
And-
I was expecting there to be another twist where you were fucking.
See,
with
that's
her.
what I thought.
No,
I was
I
waiting
no,
for
it was
that.
definitely the wrong book. No, but the whole time, she started to hate me by the end of the night. She was like, "Honey, would you do this?" I was like, "Yeah, I would have got the right fucking comic book."
Oh man, that's funny though. That's
Yeah.
really funny. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed our absolutely random fucking
Shit show of a
80s
podcast.
show too. Enjoy.
Bye.
Good luck trying to salvage all that, Dad.
Oh man, it's gonna be a fucking mess.
Daddy, stop!
Stop it, Daddy.
Stop it!
Daddy, stop. Oh.
What?
We're like 120. We're good.
Brandon
Like-
totally didn't just touch my dick or anything.
Oh.
Yeah.
I hope we edit that out.
Oh, that's not getting edited out.
Yeah. That's why.
That's at the end. That's for the people who
that's
stayed.
Why, that's why.
Right, this one's going out to you. Okay,